I did. I sold to a guy in Texas. All right.
Yep.
All right. I'd like to call to order the Board of Adjustments meeting for November 26, 2019. Start off with a roll call of members. Mr. Willie Robinson.
Present.
Mr. Devin Graham.
Present.
Mr. Stephen Jofrion.
Present.
And Mr. Corey Ogeron.
Present.
And Ms. Darla Harris and Eddie Crass are absent tonight. At this time, I'd like to open up for a public comment period. Anybody for or against have any comments for the Board of Adjustments? Nobody signed up? All right. Closing public comment period. Can I get acceptance of minutes for the October 29th, 2019 meeting?
I'll move to accept.
Motion by Mr. Corey Ogeron, second.
By Devin?
Second.
Yeah, second.
Second by Mr. Devin Graham. All in favor?
Aye.
Can I get acceptance of the written decisions for the October 29th, 2019 meeting?
Motion.
Motion by Mr. Stephen Jofrion.
Second.
Second by Mr. Corey Ogeron. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes. I know we came in a little late, so if anybody is here to speak on anything, please make sure you sign up with Jamaica. All right, first one we have for tonight is the zoning review ID PZ 2171.19. This is for lot 126 for Bell Savan subdivision for level homes. This is located on the west side of Bell Prairie Drive, approximately 400 feet south of Bell Reserve Drive. Here to request the variance of the Ascension Parish Developmental Code, Section 17-2073, for site requirements, purpose and intent, setback, and yards restrictions for residential. Do we have anybody here to speak on the matter? No? Okay. So I'll open it up for a public comment period. Closing public comment period. Have any discussion for the board? Do I hear a motion?
Lance, are you comfortable with answering any questions on it for us?
Yes, sir.
All right, so is it just the overhang?
Yes, sir. It's just the overhang.
How much is that overhang?
Probably about 16 inches, I would say.
Yeah, it was very minimal, and
Yes,
it looks,
sir.
it's like on two corners, right?
Right, it's just
And
on
that's
two
that-
corners, right on
yeah.
the corners themselves, on the front and the side.
I move we accept the variance.
All right, I have an acceptance by Mr. Corey Ogeron, second by Mr. Willie Crass. All in favor? And Willie.
In favor.
By Mr. Willie Robinson, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes. I don't know what I just did. All right, next up is zoning review ID PZ 2173.19. This is for lot 1A for Vivian Marie Bro Gotro property and lot 1A of Ivy Bro and Mary Cook Bro property for Jeff Gotro. This is located on the south side of LA Highway 621, approximately 900 feet west of LA Highway 44. Here to request the Ascension Parish Developmental Code variance for 17-2073. Site requirements, purpose, and intent. This is for minimum lot and lot frontage restrictions for residential. Do you have anybody here to speak on the matters?
Yes,
Your name and what you're here for, sir?
Jeff Gotro, and I bought this property with the intention of building my home. I've lived in Baton Rouge for the last 20 years. I came back, and it has a little wood frame house on there. I wanted to move that to the back, but I can't get financing because they keep saying that it's two dwellings on one lot. So I'm trying to get them subdivided so that I can build my home and move back to Ascension. Now, the 6 lots that are on 621 are all about the same as what I'm trying to create. So to the west side, there's a lot that's .54 acres. Mine would be .7. The next one's .53, .61, .73, .65. So they're all the same size. And then also, I would have a 30-foot servitude. To the east and to the west of me, those lots all also have private servitudes to get to the properties that are behind them. So everything around there is right at the same size of what I'm trying to do.
Do you have a map for this with you, by any chance? You could pull it up on there? Because when I was reading through this one, it was just, I was a little confused, and then you're saying you're taking a building and moving it back. Just you could, just from a visual standpoint, help us understand it a little bit better.
Okay.
Yeah, there we go.
So this is the current house here, and I would move it back to here. So I'm short, I guess, the 15 feet, so whenever I talked to Lance, he said I should separate it between my 3 properties that I had there. But on this side, these are 2 half-acre lots here, and you get to those with a little servitude of passage here. This would be my uncle's house. His is about .61 acres. So what we would be creating is .53, .7, .63. And then I would build a house here underneath these oak trees.
And then the existing home, like you said, is going back on 1A3.
Correct.
Correct. And then what are you doing with lot 1A2?
There's already a home on there. Basically, we took that so that we would have less of a variance of the road frontage. So I took as much as I could from that to throw over to these so that I'd have more frontage.
Okay. All right. Anybody have any other questions? It's just the layout is.
Right.
It's different, so. I guess what's your hardship?
That I can't get financing to purchase, to build a house.
Okay.
What do you plan on using the current wood frame house for?
I would use it probably just as a little office, a home office. I'm in real estate. And my niece is actually in college now, so she's been after me to maybe live in it.
Okay. So
It's a
someone
little
would be.
two-bedroom
Okay.
house,
So someone would be occupying that.
possibly.
Okay.
It'd be a lot on it, it'd be on a lot of its own, right?
Correct.
Yeah,
It would be on a lot, which is consistent with what's out there,
Yeah.
size-wise. It's actually bigger than what's next door to me.
Sure. Any other questions? See some hard thinking over here. Okay. Thank you, sir. This time, I'd like to open it up for public comment period. Nobody signed up? All right, closing public comment period. Is there any more discussion, motion?
I'd like to make a motion, I think it's conducive to the rest of the properties around it, and I see to me, would be a hardship, financing.
Okay.
So, motion to approve.
Motion to accept by Mr. Stephen Joffrion. Here, second. Second by Mr. Corey Ogeron. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes. Thank you, sir. All right, next up is zoning review ID PZ 2175.19. This is for lots 11 and 12 for Cambry Place. I'm just going to say Mr. Nugent on this one. I don't want to. Win. See. Located on the north side of Redbud Road, approximately 150 feet east of Tulip Road, here to request variance of the Ascension Parish Developmental Code, Section 17-2073. It's a site requirements, purpose and intent, setback, and yards restriction for residential. Do you have anybody here to speak on the matter?
I am Cindy.
Cindy, all right. What you here for, Cindy?
So we're asking grants back of the property setback to 5 feet instead of 20 because we need space for children to worship because we don't have no space because really the lot is like very narrow, as you can see. And we don't have a lot of spaces for children to worship.
So on here, it says you're going to place a mobile home.
Correct.
So where, I guess,
We still have a lot of, some space in the front still. If we push back 5 instead of 20, we would have more space for, like I said, children to worship more in the front.
so, and on the lot too, how's the trailer going to sit on the two, or is it a trailer for each lot?
No, it's basically 2 lots.
Yeah, and actually, and I can hear Stephen, I was wondering the same thing. Do you have the print up, I guess the Google print, to be able to show us where?
Yes.
So I'm just curious exactly where at on the lots and then the orientation of the trailer.
This is a church.
This is a church?
Yes, this is a temple. And this is I think the nun's going to be living in the mobile home,
Gotcha.
if I'm not mistaken.
We're not doing nothing with the church, we're doing something
Correct.
about the mobile home.
That's
Okay.
correct.
Just the mobile home.
Yes.
The mobile home is only for the nun to live in. I have Mr. Carey here, he's probably will explain better. They were asking us about it.
Hey, my apologies for being late.
It's okay.
Just here to help speak on behalf of the applicant in what they were asking to do with this mobile unit.
And real quick, would you mind saying?
Kerry Chauvin,
Thank you.
thank you.
We were trying to figure out on this map where exactly, which lot we're talking
Yeah,
about.
yeah.
I think not.
Yeah, I think I had the lot numbers.
So it says lot 11 and 12, and if you go off, if you go off on here, I think it was approximately about where 39, 224 would be.
39224
Is that right?
Redbud, yes,
Okay.
that's correct.
And so currently, it looks like we have structure, there's existing structures on the property. Correct, Lance? So is that,
Correct, those are non-conforming, those are there prior to zoning. The church has been back there, temple's been back there for many years.
okay, and now the church is being, or the trailer is being placed on the same spot, or where's it going to be placed on the property?
It's going to be placed 20 feet from the property line, all the way to the left-hand side, 5 feet from the property line, for a lot. They have my papers. so-
11 and 12.
11
Yeah,
and
lot
12.
11,
Yeah.
11 and 12.
There are existing structures on the property already. They're going to be further left, I guess you could say, or west of the property, from that property line, whatever lot that is furthest to the west.
And if I could say, those existing structures are closer to the property line than what this proposed structure would be. So it wouldn't be any closer, it would actually be farther back than those other structures.
Are we removing those structures?
No, they're remaining.
So the old structures are going to remain?
The old structures are
And we're
remaining.
adding another building to the property?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
And according to so looking at the map again, on the lot, it's going to sit right there, you said, on the west side, where it'd be, I guess would be the northwest side of the property, closer to the Silver Oak subdivision line?
Yes.
You mind moving?
I was about to say, is there a possibility for you to like draw it on that map sitting there?
Yeah.
You can maybe just take a pen and
Sure.
draw where you want to place it?
So it's going, like right here?
Because Lance, they're asking for, to come off the rear, right? So they're
Yes,
trying to
sir.
be
Come
5
off the
feet,
rear, 20
which
feet.
backs up to the apartment.
That's correct, yes, sir. Because of the lot, the makeup of the lot is very small. It's a subdivision that was done probably in the 50s.
Oh, yeah, we dealt with
50,
some.
yeah,
in
we
the
actually,
past.
you know, there are some adjacent to this that
all
we've
these.
granted already, based on the same request, I guess you could say.
Well, the thing I got, like judging from the existing buildings, it seems like they would have to place it across 2 lots instead
Yeah,
of.
so I've
It's
drawn it.
possible.
There we go.
It does, it
Okay.
kind of
Okay.
straddles the lot, the 2 lots that they own. And again, it would be 20 feet from that rear, kind of where we've got it drawn.
So we meet the 20-foot setback, right?
Yeah, from the
No,
front,
From
yes,
front,
not from
yeah,
the
where
rear.
rear is what we're.
Well, 5
And the
foot.
Oh,
rear
I
is gonna
got
be
you.
front.
Yeah,
I'm
the
sorry. I'm looking
15
at it
foot
wrong.
variance, so it's going to be 5
Yeah,
foot on that fence.
Yeah, 5 foot on that. My apologies for that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why. There we go.
There we go.
Okay, that makes more sense. I was
Yeah.
thinking that the trailer was sitting, I guess you would say, north to south. So, okay,
Right, it's going to straddle the property.
gotcha. And this trailer is obviously going to be occupied by someone's going to be living in it, or is it just going to be for like
No, it's-
weekly? Okay, all right. Okay. Y'all have
Any
more
issues with the
questions?
proximity with the older buildings?
Yeah.
No, sir,
No, okay.
no, sir.
All right, any other questions?
That was good, thanks.
Thank you. All right, this time I'd like to open up for public comment period. Nobody? All right. Closing public comment period. Do I hear any discussion?
I have some discussion. It's a pretty big variance, 15 feet. Is there any leeway at all? I mean, 15 feet is a whole lot of variance for us, you know? I mean, can we meet in the middle of something and can we move it up some? I mean, 5 feet's, I know that area and there's a lot of fencing around there and 5 feet's not a
Yeah.
whole lot of room if you get a fire or something, you know?
I guess, and we could certainly maybe discuss that, maybe if we could have just a couple of minutes. But there are structures, I think the other structures, at least one is 3 feet from the property line. I think there may be even one closer.
Yeah, but that's.
Yeah, and that's,
That's old stuff. and-
I know, I
If you- if
know
you were
it's
coming here
probably
asking for a
before
variance of-
anybody's time here, but,
Yeah, so,
I hear you.
and I'm with you. I mean, just from a safety standpoint, fire, yeah, it's something we want to make sure we're considering.
That's kind of why I asked about the other
Yeah, those are,
buildings.
yep, great question.
I mean, if we move them closer to the other buildings, now we have that concern.
Yep, yep.
just adding
Yep.
another stick on the fire. What do y'all feel about that?
No, I'm totally, that was actually one of the questions I had,
Yeah.
and that was a concern, is just from the safety, because I know there is a lot of structures right there. And trying to understand the placement of it, so,
Yeah.
okay.
Is,
It-
I'm sorry.
Well, I was gonna ask Lance if he knew off the top of his head, where the house is at in the back, are they 5 feet off the property line? Is there a little bit more of a gap there in the new development?
The new development, no, they're further than 5 feet.
Okay.
property,
I just wanna make
yes.
sure it's not a
Yes.
house bumped up on the
No,
sideline.
there's apartments that are actually
It's the
behind there.
hardship, isn't it?
Oh, that's the, I
That's
thought that
Silver
was
Oaks.
the neighborhood side
No.
right there,
No,
the
that's
apartments in the
Silver
front.
Oaks.
Yeah, we can, I don't know what
Okay.
the hardship is. I don't think they have one. No, we can ask.
Is there a hardship that you can explain to us or justify for the change?
Yeah. All the way to
Well,
Avalon.
with the other buildings that are on the property and trying to
Yeah,
turn the
that's
trailer
DS,
the other way,
DSLD.
or move it, it doesn't give them a lot of circulation space. It's kind of tight in that corner over there. And just in talking with the applicant, you know, it's certainly something they have a need for the church. I mean, I don't know if y'all have you know, maybe a number in mind as far as what setback you might be. You know, if they went 7, does that, are we looking at 10 foot or greater, or?
Well, my other questions will go with drainage, obviously, my favorite question. Is there a ditch or anything back there?
No, so there's no drainage servitudes on their property.
Okay.
Have y'all considered I guess, a different size mobile home? Or for the structure that y'all are trying to put in there?
This was the size that they needed to meet their needs, so it's just kind of what they needed for functionality, so.
Our concerns are safety. If we grant the variance and something happens, you know, to the individual living in that building, then that falls on us. And so obviously, we want to cooperate and we want to be beneficial to you, but in the same token, we have a duty to look out for the safety of everyone.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah.
Yeah, from a safety standpoint, yep. Okay, any more questions? So I hear,
Well, Lance, one more, on the spot tonight, right?
No.
Crossing the lines of two different lots with a mobile home wouldn't be an issue, right? I know we have that all throughout the parish. It's not a variance issue?
It could be a variance issue. I didn't know it was crossing two lots at this point.
I
But
kinda see
that's
it.
something, there are other properties, already buildings crossing the property line on this, so.
All right. Unless somebody else made the motion, huh?
And the other two buildings, they're being used and they're useful buildings? Is that the point?
And then if you actually look here. What was your
I'm concerned.
No, I'm sorry. I was
Motion.
I'm saying something else.
I'm done.
Was that a question for me?
No,
Okay.
No, just,
You ready for a motion?
Yeah, yeah.
I'll, we still in discussion?
No, sir, no, sir. I'm
So,
ready.
motion?
I'm gonna make a motion for a lack of hardship, that we deny this.
All right, so I have a motion by Mr. Stephen Joffrion to deny, Second.
I'll second it.
Second by Mr. Corey Ogeron. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
I wanted to. I'll take it, yeah.
Sorry, it's been denied.
That's one.
Yeah.
All right, next up is zone review ID PZ 2176.19. This is for tracks B4D, B4A, B4B, B4C, and track A, formerly a portion of the Judy Walters estate for Doug Diaz. This is located on the south side of Church Point Road, approximately 600 feet west of Roddy Road, due to request a variance of the Ascension Parish Developmental Code, site requirements, purpose and intent for minimum lot and lot frontage restrictions for residential. Do you have anybody here to speak on the matter?
Yeah, James Fago representing Earls and Associates and Mr. Doug Diaz on the following division, asking the commission for approval.
So I had my one question answered earlier, but one of the drawings that we have in here, it looked like originally there's three lots on here, correct, that you're asking for a variance for 93 feet?
We're just asking for
Two.
one.
Just two, okay.
One lot's
Yep.
existing.
Yeah,
So the other one that's all the way to the
it was an existing.
east of here is existing, and we're
Correct.
moving that off. Yep,
Correct. We're not touching that one.
all right. Good deal. That was my only question. I just need some clarification, so, yep. Any other questions?
The normal one, hardship.
Well, the hardship is we do meet all the acreage requirements. I mean, we exceed the acreage requirements of the zoning, the rural, which is medium intensity. The minimum is 20,000 square feet, and we definitely exceed that drastically. The location of the lots, I mean, it's ideal for the home residents that these can be building. The way the house was situated over the original property line went over the shed, it kind of shifted everything. Then you got the angular ditch that kind of, you only have so much road frontage from the ditch all the way to the property line to work with, so.
So the actual lot at the house is 100 at the front, but it's really big in the back, huh?
The house and the shed.
That's where the pump shed is for the house, so it kind of
Kind of threw things off, huh?
throws everything off. Yes, sir.
That's all I have.
Okay. Any other questions? All right. Thank you. Open it up for public comment period. No one signed up. Closing public comment period. Here, discussion, motion.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Motion to accept by Mr. Willie Robinson,
I'll second.
second by Mr. Stephen Joffrion. All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
Oh, wait,
Abstain.
abstain? So we need to go, you're good?
Yeah.
Okay. Motion passes. Thank you. All right, any old business?
No, sir.
Any new business?
Nope.
I wanted to thank you, but it sounds like you might be here for the next one, so.
No, I won't, 'cause I'm-
Okay, so with that, I would like to, new business, I'd like to thank Mr. Corey Ogeron for his time on the board. And we wish you well in your new position.
I will be turning in my resignation to Ms. Jamaica tomorrow. Come January, I get to serve as a parish councilman, and there's a rule that says I don't get to play in both courts. So I'll take that next step.
Yep.
I wish you guys the best. Thanks for your camaraderie and your education.
Good deal.
You guys really did drag me along this properly. I appreciate it.
Thank you for serving.
Yes, sir. Thank you for your time and thank you for serving. All right.
That
Can I
being
get a
said,
motion?
Well, Jagger, do we need to put it out that we need members, or you want to say that we can advertise on
Do
your
you
voice?
want to do now or do you want to do official next month when he officially resigns?
Up to you.
Start now.
Yeah, so with that said, the Board of Adjustments is looking for a new member to join our team. So if you would like to join, I believe they just need to get online, put in their application.
Yes, they'll be advertising, and then they'll send that information to the parish secretary for consideration.
Good deal. All right. Can I get a motion to adjourn?
Motion adjourned.
Motion by Mr. Stephen Joffrion, second by Mr. Devin Graham. All in favor?
Aye.
Thank y'all.